What is going on, YouTube? Today I would like to discuss my 3 favorite authors and some of their lesser known works that I would recommend everybody read. You see, over the decades, I have read a lot of incredible books by a lot of incredible authors. From Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin to The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. From The Wind-Up Bird Chronicles from Haruki Murakami to East of Eden by John Steinbeck. From A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. From Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler to Stoner by John Williams. The point is, I have read a lot of incredible books by a lot of incredible authors. And also, I kind of wanted to show off my book collection. But even after reading all of these books, none of those authors make my top 3. Instead, my big 3 consists of George Orwell, Kurt Vonnegut, and Ray Bradbury. And while these authors have written a bunch of incredible books, they are mostly known for their biggest hits. When it comes to George Orwell, he is most known for 1984 and Animal Farm. Kurt Vonnegut is most well known for Slaughterhouse-Five and Breakfast of Champions, while Ray Bradbury is most widely known for Fahrenheit 451 and the Martian Chronicles. But today I want to talk about some of their lesser known works and why I recommend you read them. But before we get into the recommendations, if you are already a fan of these 3 authors, then maybe you would like to read from my sponsor, which is my own collection, The Crumbling of a Nation and Other Stories, a collection of 14 dystopian short stories. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Let's start with George Orwell, who, if you know anything about me, has always been my number 1. In fact, behind me I have this little puppet of him. Even though this tag fell off, I had to keep it because he could easily be confused with another man with a mustache, if you know what I mean. When you look at his most well-known books, you would assume that he writes only political satire. But that is not necessarily the case. His works often focus instead on the individual flaws of man, while commonly being told through a frame of satire. For each of the authors, I am picking only 4 books, and for George Orwell, this was extremely difficult to do. Because honestly, I recommend people reading basically all of his books. First, we have Coming Up for Air, which essentially details a man in the middle of a midlife crisis. He is extremely disappointed with the way that his life has turned out, and becomes extremely nostalgic about a past that never was. Then we have Burmese Days, which is a deep dive into the brutal reality of English colonialism. Then we have Keep the Aspidistra Flying. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it for this video because I'm too lazy to look it up on Google. Which is all about a man's attempt to rebel against society, specifically the desire for financial success. Instead, he does everything he can to essentially keep himself poor. But as the story progresses, this battle becomes harder and harder to maintain. And then we have his collection of critical essays. And when it comes to George Orwell, while I absolutely love his fiction, his essays are some of the best essays I have ever read. This particular collection discusses politics, literature, and social issues. But if you're looking to read just one essay by George Orwell, it has to be this essay, Shooting an Elephant. It is incredible. And then we have Kurt Vonnegut, who maybe even more so than George Orwell, I could recommend every single book. He is a literary genius that can never and will never be replicated again, even though his style will be copied for generations to come. There is simply no one who could do it like Kurt Vonnegut did. Also, if you look behind me, you will see that I have Kurt Vonnegut on my wall, and many of his book sets behind me. With that being said, here are a few of my favorites. First, we have The Sirens of Titan, which is a beautiful exploration of free will and the absurdity of life. Then we have Player Piano, set in a dystopian future where robots have essentially replaced all human workers. Next, we have God Bless You, Mr. Rosewall, which takes a satirical look at wealth, philanthropy, and the absurdities of American society. And then we have Welcome to the Monkey House, which is an incredible collection of short stories, including incredible short stories like Harrison Bergeron and Who Am I This Time? And I know I was supposed to limit it to only 4 books, but I would regret if I didn't mention this one right here. Honestly, I don't know how to pronounce this title, but it is a collection of like speeches, letters, thoughts, essays, things like that. And like everything else that he writes, they are hilarious. Then finally we come to Ray Bradbury, who is most well known for his novels, but it is his short stories that I think everybody should be reading. Starting with my favorite book by Ray Bradbury, The Illustrated Man, which is a collection of intertwined short stories, each focusing on the different consequences that could come from technological advancements and the ways that they affect humans and human lives. These next 2 books kind of go hand in hand. We have R is for Rocket and S is for Space, exploring the possibilities of space travel and humans' overall desire to travel and explore the cosmos. Then we have The October Country, which are more horror and scary short stories, told with that same fun Bradbury style. So if you guys have already read the classics and you're looking for more from these 3 authors, I hope you are able to find at least one book that you can read next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe. I'm publishing videos every Tuesday and Friday. And if you've already read all of these books, but you're looking for a new author who is heavily inspired by these 3 authors, then maybe you'd like to check out my collection of short stories, The Crumbling of a Nation and Other Stories, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and the TikTok Shop.